Okay, so second part of this story. I've had actually kind of a busy week, so that's why this is taking kind of long. So, after all this stuff happened Wednesday night with my friend and everything like that, John, I was informed by much more experienced women, not experienced in that way, but just more sure of themselves, um, that I should wait until Saturday to go back. So I took my friend Deja because she wanted to see what this girl looked like. I usually tend to have a thing for Hispanic women, and I don't know, it's just something about them. But so we go back, and we walk in, and I'm used to paying for my friends when I go. It's just kind of, I guess, a habit that I have. And Daisha was like, no, 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 don't do that, you idiot. If you do that, she's gonna think that we're together and everything like that. And you don't want her to think that, unless you want her to think that and kind of make her jealous or whatever, to see what she does. And so, I decided I didn't want her, the girl at the coffee shop, to think that Daisha and I were together. So I buy my drink. Daisha buys her. Unfortunately, the girl wasn't ringing, people up, but she was there. She was mixing the drinks and making the drinks for everyone. So I walk up to the counter. I place my order, and I, go and sit down at one of the tables because it's not very busy. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and so Daisha places her order, and then the drink comes up, and I go up, and I get it, and she remembers my name. She remembers me. She was like, hey Ben, or is it Benny? And I told her either one, because my dad will call me Benny or Benji, or just kind of things along the line of what my name was before. He's always had kind of a nickname for me, even at the age that I'm at. And so he still has one for me, which I don't care. It's my dad. And so I was really surprised that after I went on Wednesday, Thursday was New Year's Eve, Friday was New Year's Day, and then Saturday. So after 3 days and one New Year's Eve tossed in there, she still remembered my name. She still remembered me, which was really awesome and quite an ego boost. I realize now that I should have said, hey, villain name, like, how was your New Year's and everything like that, but she seemed like she was working pretty hard, and once again, I didn't want to bother her while she's working, so I just kind of left it, but I realize now that I probably seemed like an ass, like I wasn't interested in her, by not reciprocating and saying, hey, villain name, how you doing and everything like that, how was your New Year's Eve, how was your weekend, whatever. So Daisha and I got our drinks. We went and sat outside. She told me where I should sit with my back to the window, so Daisha could kind of keep an eye on it. What was funny is while we were sitting out there, one of the other employees came out to have a cigarette break and sat down, and the girl came outside, walked past Daisha and I to her friend. Now, this Starbucks is circled. It's on a corner. So there's two doors in the middle, on the left and on the right. Now, she walked from the door on the right out to her friend, who was sitting right next to the door on the left. Sat there and talked for a bit, made sure that I could see her, and then she walked back past me to the farthest door, which is, granted, closer to the bar, but it wasn't the closest door that she was at. So Daisha and my friend Amy think that she came out to scope out my relationship and how I was sitting and interacting with Daisha. Since before, I showed up with a guy. And now I showed up with this little skinny blonde-haired girl, at 10 o'clock in the morning. So Daisha tells me, and I'm thinking she's probably right, that she was just checking out how I was interacting with Daisha to see if Daisha was my girlfriend or not. I did go back inside a second time to get a water, but I didn't see her there. So I'm guessing she was in the back doing some work. So I might go back tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'll go back tomorrow, like afternoon or whatever. I'll take a book. You know, school's starting soon. I'll go over some old textbooks I have just to brush up on things, because it's been years since I've been to school. Um, so, so yeah, that was pass number 1. Never got questioned on my name. Nothing. Never got stared at trying to figure out what I was. Not. This was a different kind of staring, which was really nice, really great. The second pass was yesterday. I went to Huntington Beach with Daisha because she's from Ohio. She came to try and live here, but some family stuff came up, so she's going to be moving back. And so, so we went to the beach as a kind of last minute thing. And we're walking up and down Huntington Beach, you know, Main Street. And there are these people there that are like yelling out trivia questions. You're like, you know, if you get these answers right, you'll get $1 and stuff like that. And then they're all, oh, well, in a couple of minutes we'll get, you know, we'll have someone up here on this cooler, because they were standing up on coolers, and we'll ask you a question worth $20. And so it turns out that they were street preachers. And so the $20 question was, have you ever lied? Have you ever stolen? Have you ever lusted after someone, you know, at all? It doesn't matter if it was your wife or anything like that, you know, and all these things. They were starting to ridicule these people for, you know, the things that they did, and, you know, if you don't accept Jesus, you're gonna burn in hell and everything like that, you know, crappy way of ministering, in my opinion. I'm not religious at all, but I'm not atheist. I just don't, you know, to each his own. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else and it doesn't hurt society, then to me, I see no harm in it, you know. So we stood there and watched them a couple of times, and Daisha knows her stuff, like her Bible. She knows her shit. And so you know, this kid got pulled up. He looked like he was in high school. This guy is just really laying into him, really ridiculing him. And the kid's dad comes up and he said, you know, whose place is it for you to judge? You know, you can't judge my son. It's not your place, and that sort of thing. And the guy was like, well, show it to me in the Bible and stuff like that. And Daisha pulls it up and everything like that. And we start to get in this argument with these street preachers. You know, and so, you know, we're sorry about the brain melt. So, you know, we're sitting there and we're talking to him and everything like that. And this one kid comes up, and first off, he tells me he can't be much older than, or that he's quite a bit older than I am. I'm 28. I know I don't look like it, but I am. And so this guy couldn't have been much older than I was, and stuff like that. And Daisha had asked them how they felt about homosexuals. And this guy was like, oh, I'm an ex-homosexual and stuff like that. And, you know, and he lumped me in, not to say that it's bad, but he assumed that I was a gay male and that she was a lesbian. So, I was like, wait a minute. I am not gay at all. Not that there's anything wrong with that, not that I have a problem with it, but, you know, I'm attracted to women. I am transgendered. She is a lesbian. And first off, he had no freaking clue about what transgendered was. And I had to lay it out for him, this is this and this and that, you know. And he was like, oh, wow, I would have never completely known, you know, you look, you know, he was like, you don't have any chest or anything like that. I was like, well, I wear an undershirt to hold it down, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. We were there arguing with these people for like a good hour. It was awesome. But it was cool to pass, you know, once again. So yeah, I'm almost out of time, but that's been everything so far. Enough that it took up 2 videos. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a good new year. Bye.